All right. Thank you for joining me on this platform today, you and your mental health. It has been an awareness program towards my research and other program that we'll be doing. The meeting is meant to sensitize the society about the prevalence of a mental health issue in our society today. I've been talking about depression in adults, depression in women, and depression in men. The next episode is what we are doing right now, depression in teens. And research has revealed that lately, some of our young people are badly affected, with depression, especially since the time of COVID-19 till now, the numbers skyrocket to the next level. What do you think about that?
I think that's probably accurate for the way that kids are now. Like, everyone really is stuck at home. They're scrolling through social media. They're paying more attention to other people's lives and other people's business rather than their own. And they don't have in-person communication and interaction with other people. So it's very easy to internalize and focus more on other people. And I feel like the education system doesn't educate people for health and how their bodies and minds work. So it seems accurate that depression and other mental health issues would be growing, especially during these times.
Yeah, I know for the teenagers, there are so many reasons that are responsible for depression in what we are having today in our society. And of course, it is important to talk about those things. There's no way we can talk about depression in our teenagers without talking about these things. What are the signs that could be responsible for depression in teenagers? One of them is when you see the symptoms of poor performance, in school, when you see them withdrawing from friends and activities, when you see sadness and hopelessness. These are few symptoms, that indicate depression. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I can see those symptoms, and it makes sense with the way that our lives have been since COVID, because you're staying at home, everything's through Zoom. If you're a part of a sports team, you can't play sports anymore, so your physical activity is decreased, so you're not getting those natural neurochemicals. You're spending more time on social media instead of actually interacting with people, and like maybe as a teen, but a lot of adults too don't realize that that's kind of staged. You're practicing what you're putting on social media, or you're filtering your photos. And our teens, if they're not educated about these things, then they're taking that as fact. They're taking that as the reality.
Yeah. Let me quickly highlight some of other symptoms that parents out there should watch out for in their, teenagers and their youth. For example, lack of enthusiasm, energy, or motivation is also part of the symptoms. At times, unnecessary anger and rage. Rage is, part of this symptom. Overreaction to criticisms, feelings of being unable to satisfy ideas, poor self-esteem or guilt, indecision, lack of concentration, or forgetfulness, restlessness, and agitation is also part of it. Changes in eating or sleeping, patterns. All these could be part of the symptoms parents should watch out for. At times, substance use could be part of it. And a problem with authority, they always have conflict with authority. This could be a sign. And of course, suicidal ideation or actions. These are some of the symptoms that our parents should watch out for when it comes to adolescent depression, which is increasing at an alarming rate now. All right. Like I've mentioned, talking about recent survey, which indicates that as many as 1 in 5 teens, suffer from clinical depression. This is a serious problem that calls for prompt, appropriate treatment. What's your take about this?
All of that makes sense to me. It's kind of scary when you think about having those symptoms and going to your primary care physician and not having the time or space in that appointment to address like lifestyle kind of things or nutrition or any of the any aspects of holistic health, and the doctor just writing a prescription for antidepressants, which without even seeing a psychiatrist, the medical doctors are writing prescriptions for the antidepressants, and that's a band-aid that's not going to help solve the depression. I think that holistic healthcare is very important, and working with psychiatric health professionals to make sure that diet is okay, that exercise is happening, that sleep and every other aspect of holistic health is there, so that these teens can actually start to manage and overcome the depression.
Yeah. Thank you for adding that piece to it, about some of the way out of this. When we are talking about adolescents or teens depression, it can take several forms also, which include, having bipolar disorder. When we talk about bipolar disorder, it's formally called manic depression, which is a condition that alternates between periods of euphoria and depression. All right. So for them, this depression can be difficult to diagnose in teens because adults may expect teens to act moody. You understand what I'm talking about? Also, adolescents do not always understand or express their feelings very well. They may not be aware of the symptoms of depression and may not seek help. We have this category among them. What do you suggest?
I think that for those types of mental illness, it's even more important to have care physicians and caretakers, medical professionals who are taking into account the entire picture. Because if you're going to start prescribing medicines for someone with such illness that's difficult to diagnose, then you could be doing more harm than good, and you're not addressing the full picture.
Yeah, I know it could be tricky, and this is very important. That teenagers, adolescents are going through this, and of course, this has led to a lot of people committing, taking their lives over time, and the rate keep increasing. I hope people, our parents at home, will take notes and watch out for some of these symptoms. I'll be able to assist some of our young people out there who are going through this. And the research and the survey says that 1 out of 5 teens or adolescents goes through some of all this challenge. It's good we're talking about it right now because it's a way of creating awareness to the society about the prevalence of depression among our teens. And I want to appreciate you. Thank you for joining me here today.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Do you have any final thoughts before we go today? Any final thoughts or? You want to?
Yeah, I just think that the awareness and the education of both the teenagers and the parents and the entire community is so important,
Absolutely.
to start seeing the opposite direction in these numbers.
Uh, I agree with you. I agree with you. Thank you for joining me to talk about this today. And I want to say again that without mental health, there is no health. And if there is any time to talk about this, now is the time to talk about it. Thank you.
I agree. You're welcome.